Welcome to Transition Corner's Interview Mastery Guide. Transition Corner has been preparing candidates for successful interviews for more than 25 years. In our Interview Mastery Guide, we are bringing you all of our best practices, including practical insights, tactical tools, and proven strategies to help you prepare to master your interview. Interview mastery is a critical component in taking control of your career success. For decades, we have made it our mission to prepare our candidates with our best-in-class methodologies and practices from decades of successful placements. We've partnered with hundreds of hiring managers to identify ideal candidate selection criteria and have listened to their feedback after candidates have interviewed. In this tutorial, we'll walk through Transition Corner's proprietary methodology for candidate interview mastery, beginning with Part A, Preparation to Interview. When you're preparing for an interview, the most important and critical question you'll need to answer is why. The interviewer will ask, "Why do you want to work here?" The key to answering this question with confidence lies in recognizing that it all starts with clearly answering why. The number one interview mistake candidates make is ineffectively communicating the motivation for exploring a new job opportunity. Failing to prepare and effectively answer this question loses the job opportunity 90% of the time. Transition Corner has developed an equation to prepare your answer confidently, positively, and accurately. Current job situation plus ideal job criteria equals why. First, identify your current job situation. Then identify your ideal job criteria. These two combined will give you your personal why. Let's break these two steps down to further explore how to go about this process. The first step is to accurately explain your current job situation. Ask yourself why your current job situation is leading you to explore a new opportunity. Think about, what does the hiring manager really want to know? The big truth here is they want to know why you're interviewing. For candidates who are employed, the hiring manager wants to know if the candidate's current job situation is positive, negative, or somewhere in between. For candidates in a positive job situation, their motivation is based on the compelling elements of the new career opportunity. This leads to further probing on the why. Why is the candidate interested in our particular opportunity? Is it the culture? Or maybe they are compelled by the timing in our life cycle. Would this position be a promotion or an opportunity for job enlargement and enrichment? Or is there a plan for career growth trajectory longer term? For employed candidates in a negative job situation, the motivation tends to be more about what's going on in their current job situation. This situation may lead to further probing into the candidate's why. Does the candidate have an issue with their boss, or is their job in jeopardy? Does the candidate's company have financial difficulties, or is compensation the motivator? Cultural problems in the current company may be part of the consideration, or perhaps the candidate was passed up for a promotion. For currently unemployed candidates, the hiring manager will want to know why the candidate is unemployed. Did they exit a company on their own, or did they leave for personal reasons? Was the candidate's job impacted during a broader organizational restructure, or were they fired? It's important that this information is presented effectively. Here are some tips for preparing answers to explain your current job situation. For employed candidates, here's what you need to know. Tip 1, your answer should be no longer than 60 seconds. Tip 2, a well-crafted answer is the perfect segue to the second part of the hiring manager's question. Why are you on this interview? Tip 3, be genuine, honest, and to the point. For unemployed candidates, our tip is to provide a fact-based answer that delivers concise perspective. Nothing more is needed. State the facts versus your emotions and opinions. Answer this question and move on to the reasons you're interested in the opportunity at hand. Additionally, if you've been impacted by a restructuring event, be proactive and share the broader details of the reorganization to put your situation into perspective. For example, you could say something like, "I was one of blank number of people at my company impacted by the recent reorganization. My last day was blank date. We went through blank type of reorganization, such as the percentage cut across all positions, the percentage cut by functions, or the percentage cut by level. You will be asked this question in every single interview. Be mindful that you do not become defensive. The interviewer may ask, what are the aspects of our open opportunity that are compelling you to pursue it? Here's how to answer. Again, think about what the hiring manager really wants to know. The big truth is they want to know if you're pursuing the opportunity for the right reasons. So how do you tell right from wrong? The right reasons confidently articulate the positive attributes of the opportunity, rather than focusing solely on a job title or the chance for more money. Here are some examples of various right reasons. Culture. Perhaps you're intrigued by the company's commitment to diversity and inclusion. Timing of the company's life cycle. Perhaps you're passionate about startup companies or thrive in turnaround environments, or you are compelled by the elements of the company's strategic transformation goals. Vision for growth. In this case, perhaps you fully embrace the aggressive vision for growth. Leadership team. Maybe you're attracted to the strength and backgrounds of the leadership team and feel you can learn from their particular set of expertise. Role dynamics. Perhaps the role you're interviewing for is a step up from your current role, or the role is a lateral move in title with expanded scope of responsibility, or the role offers job enrichment, or maybe you see a line of sight for career succession aligned with your career goals. Or lastly, maybe the role offers you a seat at the table that provides you the opportunity to make a larger strategic impact. Product category and market potential. Perhaps you're passionate about the product category and brands. Also, perhaps the company is underperforming in a particular market and you envision huge potential. Company dynamics. Maybe you are attracted to working for a smaller company or desire to return to a large, publicly traded company. Or perhaps you're interested in moving to a global company that offers future global experience. All of the reasons mentioned are the right reasons for being compelled by a new career opportunity. Now let's look at the wrong reasons, those that focus solely on you, the candidate, and can be perceived as short-term thinking. A few examples include compensation packages, location, work-life harmony, and promotion. Here are some tips for preparing your answers to the question, what are the aspects of our open opportunity compelling you to pursue it? Tip 1. Utilize your answers from your ideal job criteria list. Tip 2. Align your ideal job criteria to the company's criteria. Tip 3. Think big picture about how you can contribute versus how just you will benefit. Tip 4. Be intentional, thoughtful, and concise. Eliminate fluff. Tip 5. Focus your answer and try to make it no longer than 60 seconds. In this section, we'll introduce our proprietary interview preparation tool that we've used to help thousands of candidates to be the most prepared for their interview. Once you're done with this section, you'll be able to articulate your accomplishments and competencies with confidence, answer questions concisely to maximize time with the hiring manager, actively listen and effectively answer questions. We'll begin with our Smart Notepad process, a proven system for collecting your competencies and accomplishments from your career, organizing your competencies and accomplishments specific to your interview opportunity, and building a powerful matrix that connects the dots of your competencies, accomplishments, and your interview opportunities. You will need the following tools for the Smart Notepad process: your current resume, the job description for your interview, any other notes you have from research, recruiter discussions, etc., and 2 letter-sized notepads. Let's review how to complete the Career Competency Smart Notepad process. First, fill in the following career competency tables with a minimum of 10 competencies under each of the 3 categories: technical, behavioral, and situational. Be sure to identify competencies from your entire career. Next, utilize your resume, the job description, and your notes to support you in identifying all of your competencies. On Notepad number 1, the Career Competency Notepad, start with technical competencies. Think functional and technical skills. Examples include building high-performing teams, deal negotiation, large customer navigation, governance, risk management, workforce redesign, master production scheduling, and vision setting. Moving on to behavioral competencies, think leadership style and soft skills. Soft skills are broadly classified as a combination of people skills, social skills, communication skills, character or personality traits, attitudes, social and emotional intelligence, behaviors, and situational intelligence. Examples include cross-functional collaboration and influencing, resilience, strategic agility, risk orientation, drive for results, being team-oriented, and competitiveness. Now, let's fill out your situational competencies. Think circumstances where you've been involved and made an impact or contribution. Examples include customer turnaround, pioneering, white space business development, change management, conflict resolution, and ability to thrive in ambiguity. Set aside Notepad number 1 and move on to Notepad number 2, the Career Accomplishment Notepad. To complete this notepad, first fill in the following career accomplishment table with a minimum of 20 accomplishments. No matter how big or small, all career accomplishments matter. Pen to paper is the rule. Research proves that writing versus typing greatly improves retention and engagement. Avoid stopping or overthinking. The objective is to empty your brain entirely and capture all of your accomplishments in a master pile. Utilize your resume and your notes to support you in identifying all of your accomplishments. Now it's time to connect the dots and combine Notepads 1 and 2. Complete the following Connecting the Dots table with your highlighted top 15 competencies, 5 from each competency category. Now connect the dots. Which accomplishment had the most competencies? Which of these align your strengths to the job opportunity? Congratulations! You have successfully completed the Smart Notepad process. You are now equipped to answer just about any question during the interview. You have connected the dots for both your career and your job interview opportunity, and are well prepared to move forward with pride in your career and your accomplishments. A frequently asked question during most interviews is, tell us about your career aspirations. Where do you want to be in 10 years? Hiring managers genuinely want to understand your career goals, yet they're also checking in on your cultural and organizational fit when asking these questions. What the hiring manager really wants to know is, can the candidate articulate their short and long-term career goals? Does the candidate have a career plan? Do the candidate's career goals align with the company's organizational development goals and plan? Is the candidate focused more on the existing job opportunity or more on getting promoted? Is the candidate a retention risk? Are the candidate's career goals realistic? To prepare to effectively articulate your career goals, complete the table in the guide to capture both your short and long-term career goals. As you list your goals, think SMART: specific, measurable, aspirational, results-oriented, and time-bound. No judging here. Do not overthink and aim high. Before you start completing the table, here are some pro tips to help you along. First, start with your short-term goals and lead up to long-term goals. Avoid stating specific targeted job titles. Instead, focus on the scope of targeted roles included in your plan. Be intentional about your goals. Avoid focusing on how you will achieve your goals, and focus on what you want to achieve. Align your goals with the job opportunity and company culture. Utilizing your completed long-term career goals SMART table in the guide, prepare a brief 2 to 3 minute answer, including short-term goals aligned with the job opportunity, long-term goals and what you want to achieve, and concluding by connecting on how the role and opportunity tie into your career development goals. Using the space on the guide, write your answers to the question, "Tell us about your career aspirations. Where do you want to be in 10 years?" Preparing to ask the right questions in the interview is a key technique for mastering the interview. An interview is a two-way street, as both the hiring manager and candidate are assessing each other for a mutually compatible fit. A high percentage of hiring managers evaluate the quality of your questions as a deciding factor among a list of closely matched candidates. As always, we want to ask what the hiring manager really wants to know when evaluating your questions. We know from experience they're looking to find out these 3 things: that the candidate is motivated for the job opportunity for the right reasons, that the candidate did their research before the interview, that the candidate demonstrates self-awareness. Here are a few pro tips to prepare you to ask SMART questions in your interview. One key is to always start with big picture level questions and move to role-specific questions. Here are several examples of questions for your consideration in order of importance to the hiring manager. Regarding the company's short and long-term vision, what is the stated vision for the company? What is the time frame targeted to achieve the vision? How does the job opportunity I'm interviewing for contribute to achieving the stated company vision? Regarding culture dynamics, is the company committed to professional learning and development? How does the company demonstrate its commitment to diversity and inclusion? Regarding role dynamics, how does the leadership view the role you are interviewing for, and how does the role impact the current strategy? Can you tell me about the key cross-functional stakeholders for the role? Can you tell me more about how the team currently works together? Regarding role objectives, what are the challenges I will face when starting in the job? How will you define and measure success in the job at 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, and 3 years? Close confidently. Ask for the job or the next step. You can do this by expressing your interest through a validation type question, such as, "I am extremely interested in pursuing this position. How do my credentials line up to your ideal candidate selection criteria?" Or you can express your interest by asking a timeline-related question, such as, "I'm extremely interested in pursuing this position and look forward to next steps. What is your timeline for making a next step decision?" Be thoughtful, attentive, and engaged. Ask well-thought-out questions and avoid asking standard and scripted questions. Please avoid asking me-centric questions related to compensation, benefits, and timelines for promotions. Also, prepare a specific list of questions for each member on the interview team. With this checklist, you are now prepared to shine in your interview by asking SMART questions that demonstrate your preparedness for the interview and your genuine interest in the job opportunity. Close confidently. Ask for the job or the next step. You can do this by expressing your interest through a validation type question, such as, "I am extremely interested in pursuing this position. How do my credentials line up to your ideal candidate selection criteria?" Or you can express your interest by asking a timeline-related question, such as, "I'm extremely interested in pursuing this position and look forward to next steps. What is your timeline for making a next step decision?" Be thoughtful, attentive, and engaged. Ask well-thought-out questions and avoid asking standard and scripted questions. Please avoid asking me-centric questions related to compensation, benefits, and timelines for promotions. Also, prepare a specific list of questions for each member on the interview team. With this checklist, you are now prepared to shine in your interview by asking smart questions that demonstrate your preparedness for the interview and your genuine interest in the job opportunity. Mastering the interview starts with your mindset and motivation. One of the most strategic steps in effectively preparing to master the interview is focusing on your mindset and motivation as part of your preparation process. The interview is your opportunity to assess if the role and company are the right fit for your short and long-term career goals. Your goal is to advance your position in the process to optimally have a choice to make. Here are a few questions you can ask yourself to check your mindset and motivation. 1. Are you excited or nervous? Positive adrenaline is an excited feeling produced by passion and enthusiasm. Negative adrenaline is an anxious feeling produced by fear of the unknown. Our comprehensive interview mastery guide provides you the tools and resources to confidently master the interview. Recognizing the difference between positive adrenaline and negative adrenaline is the first step in getting your mindset in the right place so you can bring the best you to interview day. 2. Your attitude determines your altitude. Do not disregard your emotional state. Underlying attitudes and beliefs come out in our words and actions. Maintaining a focused mindset will help you notice and acknowledge any underlying attitudes and beliefs that are blocking your forward progress. Assess your attitude and mindset and check in on it periodically. Here are 4 key questions to help you assess your altitude. Do you feel fulfilled at this point in your career? Have you achieved what you'd planned to achieve by this time? How do you feel about your current work state? What is your personal routine to support your job search? 3. What if I'm not 100% positive that I want the job on interview day? It's important to recognize that few candidates are 100% positive they want the job when going on a first interview for a new opportunity. Optimally, you want the decision to pursue next steps in the interview process to be yours. Be cognizant of your mindset to optimize positive outcomes. 4. What's your motivation? Candidate job status is considered when identifying the reason candidates are motivated to explore new career opportunities. Identifying your job status is an important step in preparing why you're motivated to interview for a job opportunity. Which category best describes your motivation to explore new career opportunities? Passive, selectively listening, selectively active, or active? Passive, not actively looking, and resume is likely not up to date. Positive work state and situation, with no reason to change. A new opportunity presents something specifically compelling and intriguing. Will make a career move for only the right set of circumstances. Selectively listening, not actively looking, and probably no updated resume. Positive work state and situation, with no reason to change. The opportunity presents a line of sight on something the candidate does not see in the future at their current company. Motivation to change can be based upon career progression or related to something personal. Selectively active, quietly and periodically looks for opportunities, may be searching job boards, yet may not post resume on job boards. Resume is up to date. Proactively connects with recruiters and may selectively interview when the right situation arises. Positive work state, yet something is missing or there's a threat of a downturn. The opportunity presents all or part of a gap the candidate is missing in the current situation. Active. Updated resume and 100% actively searching on job boards, company job postings, LinkedIn, recruiters, and direct networking. Positive work state, but motivated for personal reasons. or negative work state due to reorganization or other motivators such as geographic, family, or anything else. Approaches the job search with a sense of urgency and actively interviews for a wide range of opportunities. The opportunity presents some or most of the candidate's job search criteria. As you evaluate your mindset and motivation for your job opportunity, think about how you want to be perceived by the hiring manager. Authentic or practiced? Self-aware or self-absorbed? Resolute and confident or insecure? Curious or cursory? Now that you've assessed your mindset and motivation for the job opportunity, you're intellectually and emotionally prepared to interview with confidence. Let's take a look at your professional presence. Preparing your professional presence prior to interview day is an important step in your interview preparation process. How you present yourself is crucial to understanding how people will perceive you. In today's social savvy world, your professional presence is always present. Building a professional presence online is one of the greatest opportunities to support your career search. Hiring managers and everyone in your search process will be looking you up online, and you want to make a great and smart impression. Here are a few areas for you to immediately update and clean up on your online presence to reflect what companies are seeking regarding your personal appearance, posted messages and communications, and engagement with different groups and pages. Assess your online presence. Reflect on the message this presence sends to prospective companies. Does your appearance reflect the image you want to convey to potential employers? What message does your social media engagement and interaction send to your ideal company? Below are a few tips that may seem obvious, but are often overlooked. Get a professional headshot. Please, no pictures of you and your family at Disney World on LinkedIn. Replace all social media profile pages with your new professionally shot picture. Update and clean up your online presence to reflect the professional presence factor that companies desire. Assess your personal appearance on Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms. Many hiring experts remove candidates from the interview process for less than professional pictures showing up on social media. Think about the type of messages you post on Twitter and other platforms. Think about what your follows and likes say about you. Taking the time to polish your professional presence is one of the most prudent steps you can take, so you and your career stand out in a competitive marketplace. The first step to your interview day preparation is dress to win. Preparing to present your professional self is a critical step in the interview preparation process and cannot be underestimated. Selecting the perfect interview outfit not only boosts your confidence, but also ensures that your appearance does not create an unintentional distraction. Our best practices for Dress to Win are a direct result from decades of receiving feedback from hiring managers following candidate interviews. Here are our proven best practices for Dress to Win. Do your research. Find out about the company culture and dress code. Call the company Human Resources Department, ask your recruiter, or check out the company's social media for day-in-the-life videos. Prepare for one of three types of dress codes: business professional, business casual, casual friendly. Dress one notch to the conservative side of the noted dress code. Decide your power outfit days in advance. Make sure everything fits correctly. If you purchase new clothes, try them on when you get home. There is nothing worse than finding a security tag on an article of clothing on interview day. Pay attention to your shoes. Take the time to get your shoes shined and try your absolute best to avoid wearing shoes with worn-out soles or excessive scuffs. Pro tips for women. Avoid shoes and clothes that are too tight, too short, too revealing, or too high, meaning no stilettos. Err on the side of neutral, conservative colors. No big floral print dress patterns. Bring your briefcase and store your purse in it. Pro tips for men. Err on the side of neutrals and conservative colors. No jeans, even if casual friendly. Make sure your facial hair is well groomed. There are varying opinions on the acceptance of facial hair. Pro tips for all. For nails, clean and manicured is the key. Watch the fragrance, as some people may be allergic to it. At Transition Corner, we respect the unique and special attributes every human brings to the equation. When it comes to dressing for interviews, our best advice is to err on the conservative side, as it's typically a universally accepted style. However, it's still up to you to present your best professional self. Whether your interview is in person or conducted by phone or video, the following best practices apply. Be authentic and be yourself. Listen and answer the actual questions without over-talking. Most answers should take no longer than 2 to 3 minutes. Provide appropriate examples of lessons you've learned from growth and mistakes. Here are the best practices for in-person interviews. Prior to your arrival, bring copies of your resume for each interviewer. Bring a notepad and a few pens. Turn off your cell phone and put it away. If your interview is local, practice a trial run to the location a few days in advance and plan your schedule accordingly. Anticipate road closures, traffic, and other potential delays. If you traveled for the interview from out of town or state, try a virtual trial run to the location a few days in advance. Based on your travel logistics, consider asking the hotel front desk about worst-case travel times to your interview location and a recommendation for the most reliable form of transportation. Upon arrival, arrive at your interview 10 to 15 minutes early. Be mindful of security sign-in procedures, as they may delay your arrival time noted. Observe the vibe in the building at every chance you get. Get a feel of the culture. During your interview, make every encounter matter, from the receptionist to the cleaning crew. Everyone deserves respect. Be aware of your posture, eye contact, and overall body language. Leaning forward when intently listening is a positive. Be sure to ask for each interviewer's business card for purposes of post-interview follow-up. Here are the best practices for phone interviews. Prior to your call, do not underestimate the potential of a phone interview, even if it is scheduled for only 30 minutes. Invest the same amount of time preparing for phone interviews as you invest for in-person interviews. Practice a trial run with a friend or family member. Ask them to listen for voice clarity, personality, and right level of volume. Don't forget to charge your phone, earbuds, and/or headset. It may sound silly, but many people fail to remember this detail. During your call, secure a quiet place to avoid interruptions. Avoid trying to conduct a phone interview in your car. Ensure there is no background noise or distractions. Dress to win, even for the phone interview, to boost your confidence and polish. Lastly, remember to ask for the interviewer's email address so you can send a follow-up thank you email. And finally, here are the best practices for video conference interviews. Prior to your video, practice a trial run the day before the scheduled interview. Make sure your equipment and technology are working. Stage your background. Make sure your audience sees what you want them to see in the background. During your video, dress to win. Dress the same as you would for an in-person interview. Turn off your cell phone and put it in a drawer if you are using the computer audio. Make sure you ask for the interviewer's email address so you can send a follow-up thank you email. Now let's discuss the post-interview follow-up. Research shows that most interviewers expect a follow-up email from all candidates. Believe it or not, only a small percentage of candidates actually take the time to do so. Timing counts. For phone, video, and in-person interviews, always send an email to each person who interviewed you no later than 24 hours after the interview. This includes all interview stakeholders: the hiring manager, human resources, talent acquisition professionals, administrative staff, and any recruiters. To learn more about thank you best practices and how to write a meaningful thank you email, check out Transition Corner's cover letters and thank you practices tool. Congratulations! You're in position to take control of your career and land your ideal career opportunity. You're well prepared to master the interview, and you can now confidently walk in any door and demonstrate why you are the ideal candidate. We want you to be successful, which means knowing the most common mistakes made and how to avoid them. Through our conversations with hiring managers, we know exactly what mistakes lose the opportunity for job candidates. Here are the top 10 most common mistakes. 1. Use of cliches and meaningless statements such as, "I'm a people person," or "to be honest with you." 2. Negativity and bad-mouthing previous employers or coworkers. 3. Use of or glancing at a cell phone. 4. Over-talking without answering the question. 5. Body language and voice tone coming off as lethargic, distracted, or disinterested. 6. Playing hard to get or presenting as arrogant and overconfident. 7. Rudeness or disrespect towards receptionist, maintenance, or other non-interviewers. 8. Acting overly familiar in the interview. 9. Interrupting the hiring manager on a frequent basis. 10. Being late to the appointment. Something you may not be prepared for are behavioral-based questions during the interview. Not to worry, we have just the technique for mastering these questions when you hear them. Transition Corner's proprietary SAAA technique model is an amended version of the STAR method for delivering your answers to behavioral-based interview questions. Our SAAA technique is a powerful preparation tool, adding a critical element, the application step. The application step presents a future-focused approach to connecting the dots between past career experiences and achievements and the job opportunity for which you are interviewing. In other words, incorporating the application solidifies your position of how your demonstrated accomplishments and experiences will positively contribute to the new job opportunity and highlight why you are the ideal candidate for the job. Using the SAAA directions in the guide, complete the model to practice delivering compelling answers to behavioral-based interview questions. Situation. Set the stage. Describe the situation, problem, or conflict you encountered in your new role, leading a project, taking on a new customer, etc. Describe the challenge and expectations. What needed to be done and why? How high were the stakes? What was the timeline? Lastly, what was your role and level of responsibility to achieve a positive outcome? Action. Be specific. Articulate the various actions you took to drive a positive outcome. Describe your leadership of or integral role on a team. List the tools you used. State who you collaborated with or influenced, whether internally in your company or a customer or third-party stakeholder. Accomplishment. Specify the results from your actions in response to the situation. Detail improvements achieved and how your efforts produced a positive outcome. Provide quantified and qualified results. Application. Describe the skills you developed. For example, I cut my teeth on transforming underperforming teams. This was my first turnaround experience, and we built a high-performing team that delivered a 10% volume lift in 2018. Describe how the skills and lessons learned apply to a specific role or the future. For example, I learned a valuable lesson about listening versus making assumptions and telling. I evolved my leadership style to a player-coach level and ended up promoting 3 of our 8 region managers to director within year 1. I am confident that my ability to build highly engaged teams will make a marked impact during your time of transformation. Our final resource will ensure you get an ROI on your research. At Transition Corner, we take the traditional research phase to the next level. Our goal is to prepare you to be agile and nimble on interview day. We believe that disciplined and thoughtful research will prompt your curiosity and prepare you to engage on a deeper level during your interview. We also believe that approaching the research step on a more profound level will not only heighten your awareness of the company so you can demonstrate your knowledge, but also provide the foundation for asking smarter questions. As you conduct your research, think in terms of job opportunity fluency. We define this as a candidate's comprehensive and broad understanding of the company and opportunity versus a typical Google search of a job title or company. Researching a company. A company is more than merely the products and services they market and sell. Each company has a story. Go deep. Utilize tools such as Google, Hoovers, industry associations, brokers, customers, consultants, LinkedIn, Facebook, the company's website, etc. Sign up for Google Alerts to stay up to date on news about the company. Start with learning about the company facts and figures. Review the company's history. Identify timelines of growth, mergers, acquisitions, divestitures, etc. Review the financials. Be familiar with them across the organization, including business units and their respective financials. Go deep on capabilities and competitive positioning. Conduct competitor research. What are the points of difference and core strengths? Dig in to glean customer perception. What are customers saying about the company? How does the company win, and where do they fall short? What are third-party stakeholders, brokers, consultants, and other entities saying about the company? Study the organization itself. Map out the infrastructure. If the company is global, include the countries it operates in, the number of business units, and the market channel each unit is dedicated to. Research the infrastructure and hierarchy, as well as job title naming. Confirm the company's go-to-market strategy. How is the sales force structured? Are they direct, hybrid or broker structured, or co-packer? Or do they do import-export? Find out the number of plants and regional offices they have. Research key people in the company. Study the leadership team. Study average tenure and locations of key leaders. Glean insights into company culture and other interesting facts. Does it appear that any of the key leaders work remotely? What types of companies and backgrounds does the leadership bring? Study your interview search team. Make sure to connect with your network to gain valuable insights into those you'll be meeting during your interview process. Research the company's current situation. Do your best to learn about the company's current situation. Think about the company's current life cycle stage. Every company runs through various stages along a life cycle. The key is to identify key business imperatives and objectives based on history, current situation, and vision. Is it a turnaround? For example, a company that has experienced 3 years of declining top and bottom line performance. Is it a startup? Is it an emerging or fast growth entity? For example, a company that has recently acquired 2 new entities and is expanding the marketing, sales, and R&D teams. Or perhaps the company is in a transformation state. If so, identify the type of transformation. Type 1, sales strategy. A company may have an underperforming sales force that needs sophisticated processes and discipline to drive results. Type 2, cultural transformation. Type 3, company reorganization. For example, moving from a brokered go-to-market model to a direct sales model. After identifying the timing along the entity's life cycle, identify the company's stated vision. Gain insight from researching the company's website, quarterly earnings webcasts, annual reports, leadership interviews, and articles. If you're working with a recruiter, the recruiter should have an arsenal of valuable insight on the company's current and desired future states. Research the company's culture. Pore through the company's website. Be clear on the company's values and stated purpose. Evaluate the fit. Does the company's stated credo align with your core values and purpose? Be aware of review site research findings. Glassdoor and other sites are subjective and attract only a small fraction of the population for commentary. Glean for truth, not water cooler gossip. Research the potential job role. Look beyond the job description. If you are working with a recruiter, they will be in a position to bring the job description to life. The recruiter is equipped with the behind-the-scenes situation. Revert to your ideal opportunity checklist. How does the opportunity align with your definition? Think about the scope of the role beyond the obvious. Who are the key cross-functional stakeholders? Which cross-functional areas are key to driving success for the role? What are the key performance indicators for the role in both the short and long term? Think about the situation you're walking into. What is the timing on the company's life cycle? Think about the reason the position is open. Think about the core competencies needed to be successful in the role. The more extensively you research, the higher the probability of success you will have in being prepared for your interview. Like the saying goes, the more you know, the more you grow. Research is how you grow opportunities. You have now completed the Interview Mastery Guide. With the work you've done to prepare, you're on your way to acing the interview and landing your ideal career opportunity.